Okay, so solar, you talked about solar on your channel, and I just thought it was a good conversation to segue to, because especially I'm in Austin, Texas, and like that's the racket, right? My friends in Houston, I got two young men I know that are 26-year-old, made $1 million in solar. They ain't even running their company right, and they still made $1 million. So imagine the guys who actually have systems in place and processes, because I think once we had that storm come through, the people who had solar and a battery, right, were still rocking. People who had generators connected to the house still rocking. They've already predicted for Texas, and I know this sounds terrible, doom and gloom for y'all, but we had such a mild summer. I know y'all think it's so hot out here. I've had friends visit and be like, it's 95 degrees. I said, y'all, I've never had a summer where there's only been $200 days, 100-degree days. We've only had 2. The rest of the summer's been like 90. I'm walking around in full pants. And I had long sleeves on one day and it was 90 degrees. Somebody thought I was crazy. Y'all, winter's going to be very cold in Texas. I'm going to just tell you now, we lost 90% of the palm trees from the storm earlier. So I want to do a whole nother video. We'll do another video on it, but I'm going to tell you what you need this fall, like supplies and any stock related to those supplies. Solar, talk to us about it.
Yeah, so solar's getting really big because I did a little video where we're talking about solar bonds, but the market for solar is getting so big now, especially in certain parts of the country where you have a really good environment for it, and it's still pretty much an emerging market. One of the reasons why the market is so big is because I think people get tax credits for solar. It's kind of seen as the kind of like a way to. I found out that you can not only be on the grid, but you're also going to be off the grid. So I found out that now you can also get your solar and sell those particular credits back to generate revenue. So there's a lot of ways to make this particular situation profitable and attractive to this person. They also can get that solar finance, and then what it does is create a bond market. I think this is a good opportunity because it's an emerging market. And like you were saying before, is that you have people now that are operating in this market and making a lot of money, and you don't have really what I would call like major players in the market yet. So what I would look for is solar companies that are still burgeoning, still in their way up, because what we're looking at is that Biden most likely is going to create some type of legislation to benefit that particular sector, because he's trying to push, I think, for a certain amount of solar, a certain amount of alternative energy by 2050. So they're going to start putting money in that particular direction. So figure out what companies you think are best positioned for that, how they can take advantage of it. And then, don't, I would say, overcompensate yourself or take too much or go too deeply into it. But look at the situation where you can kind of put your money and kind of walk away from it and look at it in the next 5 to 10 years, as opposed to watching on the day-to-day level, because I think it's going to be a slow play. But I think it could get big because solar is also really big in Florida. I know a guy down in Homestead. He was making a lot of money selling solar installation, and he was essentially just doing it through like walk-ups to people's houses. So I think it's very much something that once people get on board with it, it can blow up, especially amongst people that are kind of like maybe like a higher net worth bracket. Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to tell you right now, if you go Frisco, Prosper, Texas, by where they're putting that new women's LG, what do you call them, with the golf, women's golf?
Yeah,
in Frisco, in Dallas, you see nothing but solar panels on very expensive houses on one side, never on the full thing, just on this one side. Y'all, I'm telling you, that's what he does. He knocks on doors. He takes a bunch of young Hispanic kids, they knock on doors, and they just knocking out contracts, just knocking them out. So, I don't know if you remember when Obama was in, but they were on the radio. Like when they had the Obama phone on the radio, for some people, they were talking about solar on the radio. And I find that I keep saying I hate to say it's classism, but it is class. There's some people who are participating in our economy, and some people are products of our economy, right? Consumers of our economy. What's the best solar to buy? I'm not gonna say I'm not naming any companies. I'm just saying we're reviewing some of the stocks you can invest in for this right now.
Yeah, I would look at a group. So one, I would try to figure out whether or not it's going to be an ETF. Maybe just a basket of solar companies. And then I would look at individualized solar companies and kind of understand which ones you think have the best growth projection based on how they run their business. But we understand that there's going to be a lot of legislation that's going to be created, especially to favor American-based solar companies. And don't just look at the people that do the installs. Look at the people that maybe sell the parts and supplies. Look at people that maybe do service. Because what you're going to get is a full, robust economy around a particular solar sector. And it's going to be more than just the installation, because once you put it up there, then somebody has to fix it or somebody has to repair it. And then most likely the people that own it or leasing it, they're not going to want to get involved in that.
And a lot of people are just, the service connection, right? They come and sign you up. And just to give you guys some ideas, some names, some companies.
Yeah. And see, I know about
Whole
Enphase.
Solar, Enphase, Sun Power, Solar Edge. This is an ETF, and we can open this up here. Again, Canadian Solar, Tesla,
Tesla.
and I'm telling y'all, I'm in Austin, and I'm
Okay.
telling you, like people are like, "Oh, Tesla gets on my nerves." I'm like, you're gonna see Tesla charging stations at homes. You're gonna see Tesla solar panels on homes. Tesla came to Texas for the right reason. I think y'all think, "Oh, y'all gonna be ruined into the ground." No, Tesla's gonna make $1 billion off Texas. And I know people are like, "Oh, why you live in Texas?" I really have a big bet on Texas land, Texas solar, and electronics. This is just some of these companies that you may have never heard of these companies. Look at all these different companies.
Yeah, I heard of Plug
Florida
Power
Power
also.
Line, okay, Azure
Yeah.
Power. Here is the ETF we were just talking about. Let me go right here. Boom. It's $83 right now.
Okay.
I hate this. Isn't like I like I rather have Yahoo
Yahoo.
Finance. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is this? I don't like it. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Let me go put 10 in Yahoo Finance. Finance. Yahoo Finance. 10. Put it in there. Give it to me. There we go. All right. $83.
$3.
Let's go for the past month. What it look like on the chart. Woo! Looking like a sea of red out there. Let's go for the past month. Still red. Let's go for
Red on the
6
month.
months. 6 months red. A year red.
What is this? What is this
Okay,
holding?
wait. Boom.
It's
Back to green.
green on the 1 year. Yeah. So we gotta look at what their holdings are,
Uh-huh.
and then we also gotta ask ourselves, even though they may be down now, do we think that I can maybe go up in the future based on this
Wow.
holding?
This is the
How is it
5
weighted?
year.
See what I'm saying? How it rolled up. So it's down from its high.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But at the same time, you want to really investigate what companies are composing that ETF.
Mm-hmm.
How is it weighted? And what do you think is projected? Because a lot of times the ETF can be better than you going into an individual company because it's more balanced. Where if you put everything behind one company, and that company doesn't do well, then you don't have any exposure to anything else.
Its top holding is Enphase
Yes,
at
in fact.
11%. Solar Edge is 10% of its assets. Sunrun is 7%. This has got to be Chinese. Zing Solar Holdings. I think this is Chinese. 6%. First Solar. Shoal Industries. Ordinary shares. Class A. Poly Energy. Hawan. This got to be Chinese as well. 2.6. And Sunnova Energy.
So no, yeah, I'm a big. This is not investment advice. I'm a big fan of Enphase.
Mm-hmm.
So I am an individual big fan of Enphase. So, but we just got to see where they take things. But I think this market is going to just continue to get big over time, and I really think it's going to be bigger than the EV market.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna click on here. Enphase. Woo! Enphase Energy is more expensive than that ETF.
Yeah.
Let's go for the 1 month. Let's go for the 6 months. Was green for 6 months. And then it's got for a year here. Red for the year. That's year to date red, but this is for the year. Green. 5 years been real green. Whoa, look at that. 76 cents and $158.
Yeah.
If you got in this in 2016, you having a good old time. You are having a good old time. Okay. So just some examples here. First Solar, Excel Energy is a utility company. Hannon Armstrong again. Definitely read up on this. Don't just take my word for it. I just know it doesn't take a lot for you to sit down and research some stuff, because trust me, they're gonna be JP Morgan recommended Sunrun. Interesting. But Enphase, there you go. It's recommended for watch on September. SunPower, First Solar, Enphase.
Yeah.
So